Is game development cooked? So there's been a lot of discussion about AI usage in the game development industry. Well, really like the whole industry, every industry. And as someone who's both interested in AI and does game development as a hobby, I really just wanted to try to get what the current state of the whole AI usage, AI applications in game development was. Is it all bad? Is it all good? Is there somewhere in between? Now, since AI in game development covers a lot of different areas, so from like localization to generating art to writing code to looking up documentation, there's so many different applications of it. I felt like it might be useful to kind of look at it on a spectrum, where kind of the left side of the spectrum is like full AI usage. AI does basically everything. And I'll call that side the full vibe side, where really the only human interaction is the prompting. And on the complete right side of that spectrum, I'm gonna call it as, full manual, no AI usage at all. Okay, so starting on the left side of the spectrum, at the full vibe side, what is it and what does it really mean for the game development industry? So recently, the release of Google Genie 3 exploded on Twitter and basically started the discourse that game development is cooked. Now, I think this is basically rage bait, but let's take a look a little bit deeper. So Genie 3 is a tool from Google DeepMind that basically generates an interactable world based on a prompt. Interactable. Within a first glance, these are all basically walking simulators. I think anyone who thinks this represents a game is fairly naive or being intentionally disingenuous. And the reason this whole kind of interactable 3D world thing works is that the models were trained on videos of our real world. So they understand that a bird generally flaps its wings and glides around. So generating a world with these physics would make sense. But that's also somewhat opposite to what game development actually is. Sure, there are plenty of games that are hyper-realistic, but also many people play games purposefully to avoid the limitations of reality. Also, it introduces an interesting question: can an AI actually understand what's fun? Now, it can probably look at games that have performed financially very well or have a lot of good reviews and say, well, everyone's saying this is fun, so it must be fun. But fun is a very subjective term based on the person, so some people really like, map games, and other people really want a fast-paced FPS. Does it have an intuitive sense on what is fun? Because that's what ultimately decides a game designer, right? Is someone who just has a good sense of what is fun, what could be fun, what just kind of feels right. Again, the Genie 3 output is generally a walking simulator, which might be fun to some people, but I think it's a far cry away from games like Hades or Papers, Please. Now, there's other tools out there people are using for this kind of full vibe movement, where instead of creating these sort of interactive videos like Genie 3, the models are just writing all of the code and creating assets all in one shot, then assembling them into a game, much closer to how actual game development is done. It's split up into different pieces, you have different people working on different aspects of the game. The full kind of vibe coding movement is basically like just automate everything and just have everything become assembled. And there's even subreddits fully dedicated to AI game development. So if we move a little bit right on the spectrum, so not the full vibe movement, but a little bit more manual work there. There's that really interesting phenomenon that kind of developed, which is like the cross-section between game development and AI agent management. And I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter recently, which is essentially creating game-like interfaces to manage different AI agents. For example, I saw one that basically replicated the original Warcraft interface, but instead you're actually controlling agents to do different tasks. I know this isn't really game development per se, but it's an interesting application of game almost design and interface with just normal kind of like software development, not in the game development area. Now, as we kind of shift a little bit more towards the center of the spectrum, where it's kind of half AI usage and then maybe half manual work, there's a lot of kind of different combinations that emerge. So kind of within this subcategory is like AI generated art, but manually coding. Now, I want to get this out of the way. I support hiring and paying artists for your game projects or buying game asset packs that have been produced by artists. I'm in support of the arts. So just getting that out of the way, recently I've seen a bunch of tools for not only generating 3D game assets or Blender models, but also actually 2D pixel art assets. Now, previously it was very easy to tell what pixel art assets were AI generated, because they vaguely looked like pixel art, but never actually properly snapped to a grid. But I literally just saw a tool the other day that takes AI generated pixel art and basically forces it to snap to a grid. Now, like myself, the opinion of AI generated art is fairly negative across the market. Realistically, I think there's probably like 3 different paths this sort of development could follow. So the first path is that the usage of AI art assets instantly results in games getting canceled by the public and performing terribly financially. We can actually see an example of this with the game Expedition 33. It was actually really popular, but once people found out that the game had used AI art, it instantly went in a super negative direction. Now, the caveat here is it's dependent on either the studio admitting like, hey, we did use AI art, or we use AI generated assets, or people figuring out that like, yes, this game actually does use AI generated assets, which kind of leads me to my next point. So the second path I could foresee this happening is AI generation of art kind of continues to improve, and then human-made assets and AI generated assets become sort of indistinguishable, which could lead to studios being falsely accused of using AI even though they didn't, and then would have to kind of like retroactively prove like, here's a time lapse of our artists in Blender like creating the models or drawing the pixel art or whatever. Or the third path, either it remains to be indistinguishable like the art, or you can still tell the difference, but it becomes so prevalent that people just ultimately end up stop caring. Now, again, I've already given my opinion on this topic, but I'd actually love to hear your opinion on it, because a lot of people, some people are for it, some people are against it, some people just think it's sort of inevitable that this will continue to develop. So what are your opinions? Leave it in the comments below. Now, similarly in this category is the combination of where, you're doing manual art or you're doing commissioned art. It's a manual process, but you're using AI for the programming aspect. And I actually think this is the most widely accepted area of AI usage. And, much like the art side, there can be a very wide spectrum of what this actually applies to. So it, can cover, an LLM generating 99% of the code where a human's not touching it at all. Or it could be as simple as a programmer forgot where certain packages or documentation, and they're literally just asking AI like, what's the method in Unity that does this, this, and this? So I'd love to get your opinions on the AI usage of programming. I think a lot of programmers actually do this. A lot of code nowadays is being written through AI or with the help of AI. So those tab suggestions in a lot of IDEs are AI powered now. If you look something up on Google, it'll just auto-populate the AI summary. So if you're like, how do I do this in Unity? Instead of like going to Stack Overflow, it just auto-populates at the top now using AI. So I'd love to see if you guys use it, what your opinion is of it, and just your general thoughts about it. Now, as we start to move a little bit more right on the spectrum, we get to some really niche areas of AI usage in game development. So one of these areas is localization, like using AI to actually translate your game or content of your game into another language. Now, I actually don't know how much of, let's say, Google Translate is now powered via one of these AI agents, or is it using the previous Google Translate methodology before these LLMs existed? Did people use Google Translate for localization? I think there's a lot of open questions there. And then also, like, even if you hire one of these localization agencies that, localize for games, are they using AI? Because it increases their productivity. So even if you think like, hey, I'm gonna just hire an agency like before, but now the agency is just using AI so that they can, keep up their productivity or output a lot more, then you're sort of like indirectly using it anyway. Also, porting I thought of was an interesting application. So like, let's say you wrote all of your code for Mac, for your game, but now you want to port it to Linux. Can AI be used to just do the port one shot? I don't know, maybe I haven't tried it. That's just one of the ideas that I thought like maybe this is an area that AI is being applied to. Then there's actually AI generated content. So let's say you actually created all of the art, all of the programming, or, parts, combinations, whatever, piece by piece. What about the actual content of the game, like dialogue or lore or things like that? So we've mostly been talking about the development of the game itself with AI usage, but what about the actual content? Now, a couple of games have started to explore this where they try to give more realistic or context-specific dialogue back to the player, based on certain conditions in the game, and they actually just do like an API call to one of these AI agents. So I'd love to know if like that seems something interesting. Like, what if you had like hyper individualized NPCs in your game that are reacting dynamically to all of the gameplay that you're doing. So I think there's probably LLM ways of doing this, but I think if you used an LLM, it would probably be, I don't know, simpler or more streamlined, because you can give it so much more context and it can react in so many different ways depending on kind of the prompt that you're giving it. And then we can go even further with this. I don't even really know where this lands on the spectrum, but recently on Twitter I saw someone was using like Claude Code or something like that, some agent, to basically just play RuneScape. They would type a command like, make 7 iron scimitars or whatever, and then the AI agent would just figure it out, hooked up to all the commands, and just do it. Now, botting's been around for a while, but I guess there's this different level of interfacing with it now. And I also wonder, could this also be applied to just QA in games? Like, if you had a QA agent and you're just like, run through 10,000 runs of my roguelike and figure out like what's the most OP combination or synergy of items, could that, I haven't tried it, but it sounds like something that could happen. So I'd love to, again, get your thoughts on it. I'm just kind of spitballing here, basically from what I've seen so far. So there's all these different areas developing really quickly and all in parallel. So from fully vibe coded games to programming assistance to art generation to AI controlled NPCs in all sorts of different areas. So things are changing so rapidly that I just wanted to kind of sit down, try to just get my head around, what's going on. So I also just really wanted to gauge audience perspective or just general people's perspective on this. So you might be able to think like, oh, NPCs that are controlled by AI are really cool, but I'm against the AI art generation. I think a lot of people are some combination of both or somewhere on the spectrum. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you use AI for anything specific? Are you going to use it? Have you been exploring it? Or are you kind of just not having anything to do with it? Also, like, how far do we think it's really gonna go? Are we gonna get like AI agents making games for other AI agents to play? We're almost at that point, I think. Like, realistically, like, I would give it a year before that could, realistically be an actual, game that's going on. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. So some meta stuff, I'm working on some really cool videos, some new side games I've been working on, some other side projects I've been working on. So I'm excited to release those and let you guys know about it, start making videos about it. Again, if you're interested in roguelike deck builders, I've been casually working on my own roguelike deck builder called Castlemancer. So if you're into that, please give it a wish list over on Steam. My name is Michael. We do game development, tech, career advice, all that sort of stuff on this channel. So again, if you're into any of that, please subscribe. We do a bad British accent at the end of every video. That's all from me, and hopefully I see you in another one. Bye-bye.